Welcome back to another episode of Unhinged Bookish Thoughts with Liz and Keri. Today is our first episode of 2025.
Yay! Welcome to season 2.
Season 2.
Baby.
We are feeling it.
Yeah.
I want to say like we're going into 2025 with high spirits, but unfortunately I kind of don't think we are.
No, I'm going into
do our best.
2025. It's not like this is gonna be my no. It's not gonna.
No.
I'm walking in like I don't necessarily belong here, but I'm gonna pretend like I do, and I'm just gonna walk in. Hopefully, nothing notices me, and I'm just gonna keep going with it.
Yeah, very much like we are in survival mode. Like
yes,
we're doing our best.
We're going. I think it's a combination. It's the end of the year, right? Like we're recording this before like the new year, and so like we just had Christmas, and so I'm so burned out. I'm ready to like tear down all the holiday stuff because I'm like,
yeah, I'm very much having like the Christmas blues. I don't want to tear down my decorations. I also don't want to do anything really. Like, and this time of year, everybody gets sick. I feel like everybody is sick.
Yeah. I mean, if you can't hear it in my voice, I'm sick yet again.
So if the energy is low, it's because we are low.
Because I felt like I was on my deathbed for Christmas. So I'm still recovering from that.
Yeah.
It's been great.
But with that being said, we do have some reads, our top reads of the year, even though you had a good, even just the last few months, good spout of reading. Apparently, to my Kindle, I did not even meet my goal. No. So that's good.
Well, and nothing like, something happened, I swear. Like, I have my Kindle connected to my Goodreads, and yet there's like at least 50% of the books on my Kindle did not go over to my Goodreads. And I had to like manually go through and like mark off books. And I'm also really bad at it. This is why they're like, oh, you just put it into Goodreads. I have to remember to open the app. Okay. And I'm not going to use Goodreads, I think, that much in 2025. I'm going to switch over to Fable. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that I have to seek out my book to look at reviews on Fable. In Goodreads, as soon as I go into my profile, there it is. It's like, here's all the people talking about your book, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. I'm not in the mental space for that. So I'm gonna go to Fable, and it also has stats and stuff, and so I've already started inputting. You can input your Goodreads over to it, so it will sync seamlessly. So I've already inputted everything from 2024 over, and it gave me a reading wrap up like Spotify, and I was like, granted, it just kept telling me you were really into monster smut in 2024. Yeah. So the vibe was like monster centric or something like that. I'm like, that fits. Hold on, let me think. Only 3 out of the ones we're talking about have monsters included in them. Granted, 2 of
top 5. We're gonna do our best top 5. Then we'll do our honorable mentions. I guess again, no particular order, but one of my top 5s is Pen Pal. By Jennifer or Jen.
It's
Geissinger.
Geissinger. I think
she has it spelled out as Geissinger on her bio. I just couldn't remember her first name.
It's
but
JT.
Yes, JT. Pen Pal, very fucking good. That shit took me out.
Yeah,
that shit took me out. I would say to anybody that hasn't read Pen Pal, go in blind, because that's what Shannon, one of my other friends, told me to do. She said just don't look at the snippet, don't look at reviews, just go into it. And it was spicy, and it was like almost a thriller vibe. Jesus,
like a romantic suspense, which I've learned this year is one of my favorite genres. You know what I find really funny? And I think I said this when you and Riggy were reading it. I'm like, y'all didn't listen to me when I read it last year?
I didn't even know that you read it.
And both of you were like, you read it? I was like, yes, I told everyone I liked it. No one listened to me.
I literally emailed because we're 100 years old. I sent you an Ariel message, and I said, I'm freaking the F out. And even Ariel was like, yeah, Keri, we read it. I was like, I didn't know.
I read it. And like, it's funny because I read it and I really enjoyed it. And then Tally and the girls also read it. And they're like, this is the biggest pile of shit I've ever read. And I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I had a grand old time.
I had a solid time.
Yes, but I think we
10 out of
can
10.
disconnect better. You know what I mean? Like, there are books that you just read for the vibes only, and that was one of them. Like, I enjoyed it. Were there some icks in it? Yes. But I have not read a book recently that didn't, at one point or another, went,
Like, I never icked. No, this really was one of my, because I never icked.
Yeah.
I didn't have an issue with the flow. I was down hard for this book. And then that ending,
I was like, what?
Holy shit.
Loved it.
So good.
Loved it.
So good.
You need to read Perfect Strangers, if you haven't read that one yet.
Who's that by?
The same author.
I did download a bunch of her stuff. I just need to, Okay,
I read
you
that
hit
one
me with
immediately
yours.
after, and I liked it. Not as much as Pen Pal, but I also really liked it. Let's see. I'm gonna say the first one is gonna be That's Not My Name by Megan Lally. This is a YA thriller. This is one I'm trying to get Keri to read. The audiobook, phenomenal. I was like, oh, it's a YA thriller. Like, I've never read a YA thriller. Like, it can't be that bad. Corey was the one that recommended it at the beginning of the year for me. And he's like, just read it. He's like, I fucking loved it. I was like, okay, let me give this a shot. And like, I could immediately get it from my library, so I just dove right in. Never read the synopsis, took Corey blindly on his recommendation. I was like, thriller? Corey said it's good? Done. I'm gonna read it. And I was wrecked by this book. I was like in tears, like not like wanting to cry. It is so good. I will say, trigger warning about like kidnapping and abduction of like teenagers, but the like story it goes through is so freaking good, and how it's told, you're like on the edge of your seat. And I like halfway through, I remember messaging Corey and I say, I think I figured it out. And if I'm right, I am so mad at you. Okay? I am so mad at you. And because like I started to put the dots together and I went, this is not happening. No. It's like one of those where like you're on the edge of the seat and you're like what the fuck is going on in this book? What's going on? And then you find out what's happening and you're like, so read it. Megan has another book coming out in January, and I haven't pre-ordered it yet, but I'm going to pre-order it. I will say, I love this book so much that I slid into Megan's DMs, okay? I slid into her DMs and just said, I'm sorry if this is too forward, but I loved your book, and I really want a signed copy, but I have no idea where to get it. If you have them somewhere, will you please tell me? And she immediately responded to me and is just an absolutely lovely person, and she has a bookstore local to her. It's called Beach Books. She's like, I always go there. And I sign it. It's like a lot like Scarlett St. Clair, where she has a local best of books that she goes to in Oklahoma, and she signs all their books. So if you want to order one for like Scarlett, you go there. If you want Megan's book, you order from the Beach Books that's next to her. She's like, just call, like, you can call them. You can go on their website, order it. So I did, and they sent me like a bunch of little goodies and stuff. They sent me like these candies and this like little goodie bag with it. And now I have a signed copy of her book. I have the physical book, signed copy on my shelf. I have the audiobook, and I also bought the ebook. Why? Just so I can read it again. And then I plan on doing the same with her next book that comes out in January as well. Highly recommend to go read that.
I will read it. I promise.
I can't wait to get into thrillers this year. Oh, it's going to be so good.
Okay, but I will. But we also have to try and read A Little Life this year.
No.
I'm doing it.
Why do you want to depress yourself more than we're already depressed?
Already am. It can't get worse. It could. It literally could. The next one, of course, is Nocticadia by Keri Lake. This is really good. Literally anything by Keri Lake this year that I read really hit everything that I wanted. But Nocticadia brought her to my life. If you guys love like gothic academia sort of vibes, there are trigger warnings, that kind of thing. That is for you. I didn't realize how much I loved the gothic romance.
Oh yeah.
Until that. No. Because I kind of think the first one that I read was what's that super fucking long like series?
I need more details. Give me a little more.
There's like bullying, Zodiac Academy.
Zodiac Academy, yeah.
Isn't that like a dark academia?
Yeah, bully. Yeah.
I kind of read that, and nobody ripped me up. It just wasn't for me.
I won't read it.
Say.
I don't like bully romances, and I also don't really like college academy books. I do not like them.
There was like one coupling in it that I liked it, but other than that, I didn't get to see what happened with them. But it just wasn't for me. But this made me fall in love with like dark academia. Very spicy. Spicy. I loved it so much that I met someone through it. I met Shannon through Nocticadia, and then I made you and Ariel read it.
I liked it.
And you guys loved it.
It's on like the top reads of mine. If it went past like, I don't know, 8, 10, it's still like top of my reads this year. So it's not that I didn't like it. And the only thing that like knocked it down, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't like professor students. But let that be like a point here. Nocticadia is still one of my top reads. And I do not like student teacher romances. That tells you how good it was.
It didn't feel like icky.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I think that was a big thing. I also will say for you, it was also a bit longer in a time where you weren't really looking for lengthy, but you still stuck to it. And so that, again.
And I still really enjoyed myself. I will say Amanda Bookworm on TikTok and Instagram, I believe. Amanda the Bookworm, something like that. But she does a But for Sluts series, and it is one of my favorite things in the world. And she did Nocticadia, and she goes, James and the Giant Peach, but for sluts. I was like, oh my god,
that's
worms.
Yes. That's yeah, for sure. I would also say if you want something else with that vibe, but with like a fantasy-esque element, anything by Janine O'Reilly, like the How Does It Feel and What Did You Do? Those are very similar vibes. You're next up?
Let's see. I will say probably Belladonna and that entire series by Adalyn Grace. So it's Belladonna, Foxglove, and Wisteria. I love the entire. I don't know if I read all of them. I think I did. I think I read them all this year. Absolutely love them. Wisteria. I was like toward the end. I was like, oh no, like tears running. Like I don't cry at books, and these are the ones that made me cry. I'm like, kind of thing. Like no, this can't be happening. NA, I believe.
Okay.
Because it does get spicy. So Belladonna is about it's very commonly described as a girl. She's not a girl. She's in like her 20s. A girl who can't die in death. Like death. And so there's gods in it. Like there's life and death and fates and stuff like that. So it's about the different characters within it. And it's like a murder mystery kind of thing. Because like in the first one, you find out that the main character, Signa, her mom and like everybody was like murdered. They don't know how like everyone died. And then she becomes like this orphan and is like taken in by different family members. But she's like weird, right? Like everybody around her dies for some reason.
I do own it. So I just need to. I thought someone told me it was YA. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna. I just wasn't in the mood, but I do have it.
So I would put it in the same realm as One Dark Window. So it has younger characters, but it's a gap filler, right? So like you have YA where there's going to be closed door. Think like Divine Rivals, right? So that's like completely closed doors. It's like then we were together, blah blah blah. This one is like same with One Dark Window. Describe what is going on, but it's not like Fourth Wing or like my style, right? Like it's not like full. I mean, Ice Planet Barbarians, you're not getting that, but it's. I mean,
yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yes, Daddy, death, please.
It's enough.
It's enough. And you like death. You wouldn't think death would be swoon worthy, but you're like,
death is definitely swoon worthy. We both know that. Death is definitely swoon.
I was like, okay, death. Yes, but phenomenal series. It's really, really good. It's well written. If I remember correctly, what is Adalyn the one coming out with a book next year? I think she has an adult book coming out. I think that's who it is. I know somebody. Yeah,
I'll get that one listed up there then, because I misunderstood what level it was on. So
it's also got gothic vibes to it. I think because you really like the vibes. I think One Dark Window would work really well for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because the gothicness is like hard in that, like tarot cards, gothic style stuff.
I have it like over here somewhere.
And I almost wore my my One Dark Window shirt, so it's kind of funny that I'm talking about it. But instead, I wore my Lily shirt. And so, but I think the vibes are very much gothic. It's like prim and proper ladies, right? Like, oh, we're gonna have like Bridgerton, right? Like courting. Yeah. You're gonna have men come and like they're gonna court you, kind of thing. But obviously, this woman is in love with death, so she can't. She's like, no, I don't want any of these guys. Like, I got this dude over here, you know? Like, so yeah, it's a phenomenal trilogy. I really loved it.
I would say my next one is one that I would like you to read in 2025.
Which is?
Well, Santana Crawford. And it's a mix between Avalon Tower and Vale of Dreams. Avalon Tower is book 1, Vale of Dreams is book 2. And actually today, the day that we're shooting it, this episode, she actually just released the cover for book 3, and I'm very fucking excited. It is one of like the most captivating fantasy-esque books that I have read this year, like hands down. I don't know if it's the writing style that I loved so much. I don't know if it was like the tension in book 2. It's not like overly spicy or anything like that. There is definitely angst, tension. I think there's gonna be hella spice in the next book, I imagine, because Santana Crawford does write really good spicy scenes. But I wouldn't say that Santana Crawford writes the level, maybe like we keep comparing it to yours, but it's the easiest thing to do. Like, I wouldn't say she goes there, but she definitely goes in. You know what I mean? And book 2 really takes a turn. I love villains, and I'm really hoping that something happens there. This year was very much like I fell in love with more villains than I did heroes. Does that make sense? But I guess maybe the villains don't always end up being like the bad guy. Does that also make sense? I don't know how to describe it. But
no, totally makes sense.
It's like the morally gray. I like the morally gray characters that are supposed to be the bad guys. So I'm hoping something happens there. But Santana Crawford, I know, is someone that is on your list.
It is.
And I want you to read.
Frost already on my Kindle, and I have the audiobook. And I don't know. I said this the other day. I trust Keri's opinion on books that I will like so well that I will buy special editions of the books before I even read them. I have like 3 different special editions of the Book of Azrael. I've never read that book. Same with The Serpent and the Wings of Night. Haven't read it. But I
thought you read it.
Nope. Never.
And Frost and Ambrosia, did you get them yet, or did you just order them?
I don't have them yet, but they're on their way here. I will be getting them. So I have the Moonlight special editions that they did with Santana Crawford for Frost and Ambrosia. And I trust your opinion on them so well that I'm like, I'm just going to buy them. And so I bought them. But I do have at least Frost on my Kindle already. So, and I did get whatever other series she did on the Black Friday, or not Black Friday, the Dark Mode, and then the other stuff your Kindle. She had it free, and so I did that one too. Hallowed Games.
Oh yeah, that's
Hallowed Games, something like that. Yep, I got that one.
Ree actually just read the second one, and she said it was phenomenal. I haven't gotten that second one yet, but
yeah, I'm gonna read that one. That's definitely on my list to read.
It's a very, I will say, like Vale of Dreams. I just did that wrong. Avalon Tower, and Vale of Dreams. Those ones are lengthier, but she does have like Frost and Ambrosia are smaller and like really absorbable fantasies, if that makes sense.
I like the cover and stuff, so I was like, yeah, I'll do that one. My next one is gonna come to surprise no one. It's Ice Planet Barbarians. I fell in love with that series this year, and Ice Planet Barbarians. I am now on book 8.
It feels like self-explanatory.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just cozy.
Yeah.
You love a yearning, obsessed mailman character. whether they're a monster or not.
Who cares? I was scrolling through, I think it was Instagram, and someone was like shit talking Ice Planet Barbarians. They're like, what? Like, he was like, we listen and we don't judge, but I'm gonna judge you on this one, people. There's no plot here. And we're like, you were reading it for the fucking plot? What? And the majority of the comments were like, yeah. I was like, they're just like, what are you doing? Like, stop. No. Like, do not come at Ice Planet Barbarians. Do not talk bad about Ruby Dixon. We will attack you. And he's like,
we write it down.
Fair enough. He's like, I'm sorry.
I also feel like the more that you go in the books, the more invested you are. And like the plot does kind of like slap.
Develop.
Does that make sense? Yeah. Like,
because like I'm on 8 and now I'm like, wait, what just happened? What do you mean? Like what's going on? And I like started reading the synopsis for the next ones and I was like, no, like what's happening? I need to know what's happening. Come on. So yeah.
It's so good.
That's good. It's good. And it's very much like there's a plot. Yes. Is it more spice than plot? Yes. But is it really cute still? I mean, the one I just finished, and I sent a message to you and Ariel, and it was just like, this girl's like, I don't want to like him. Ew, no. And she's like, but why am I picturing him biting my ass? I was like, well, okay then. I was like, all right, let's right off the bat, let's go. And I think that's why I like Ruby Dixon, because they're light, they're fast paced. I don't have to like do a lot of thinking, but they're like funny, right? Like the shit that's happening is funny. She's like out and about doing stuff and he's like, what are you doing? She's like, hunting. What does that look like? He's like, you human, go inside. She's like, he's like, nope. picks her up. He's like, we're going inside, little thing. She's like, let's go. And it cracks me up. Like, you have these 7-foot tall aliens with like these like 5-foot women and they're just like, no, tiny human, you're going inside. Go. It's so cute. So yeah, that was mine.
I can't wait to meet her this year. 2025. It's so exciting.
I'm gonna try to like breathe through my like frozen.
Social anxiety is gonna kick in so bad. It's gonna be so bad.
It's gonna be so bad.
My next one is The Dawn of the Cursed Queen by Amber Nicole. Listen, if you are a longtime listener or follower, I will die for Amber Nicole. Like are you all right?
I am. I was gonna grab the special edition off my shelf. Because again, I trust you. These ones.
That's
right here.
her whole shelf right here. Look at them.
Look at them. How pretty they are. Look.
I desperately need you to read them this year.
I will.
But I know it kind of disrupts your writing, so I get it. But
yes.
I'm hoping.
I'm wondering if she's more like inspired by writing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I haven't been reading fantasy. And so
she would inspire the shit out of you.
Well, here's the thing. Is it going to inspire me or make me want to quit?
No, you're going to be like, hell yeah.
That's where I'm at, is do I read fantasy? And that's where I haven't been reading it, is because it's like, do I read it other indie authors and like get my imposter syndrome worse? Or do I just keep doing what I'm doing? So I honestly think I have the books already on Audible.
Just dive in. It is absolutely incredible. This one actually genuinely made me fucking cry. It was a very emotional time. Also, like a huge thing was I got PR from the Good Girls PR. So I got the book. That was huge for me because of how much I love her. This one, if you love like a fucking feisty ass female main character who is morally gray, just naughty mouth, incredible, everything. I mean, first off, read this book, but also In the Shadows. That's why I'm telling you. You would love.
I know. I've been told I would like Diana because like her and Lily would be best friends. And so I'm like, yeah, I need to get to it. It's one of those things that I'm like, especially because my brain hasn't been into the like longer books right now. So I've been like doing short stories and stuff. So I'm like, I know I need to get back into them. I don't know. But my schedule has also been off. Like with the holidays and stuff, my work schedule's off, my kids' schedule's off, all of it's off. And so I think once January hits and things are like back to a normal pace, I can, and my job will be changing. So I might have more brain power. instead of
Yeah.
chasing stupid people all day long.
It is long. These are long books. They're thick books. So, like, take that with what you will. There's also a lot of point of view.
And I do plan on doing a deep dive into that. So there'll probably be multiple episodes over Nicole stuff this year. So I'm like thinking about, like, in my brain, I was just like, yeah, we'll like do it, I don't know, June, something like that. And I was like, we have all these, like,
my birthday.
My next one was Hell Followed With Us by Andrew Joseph White. This is a YA horror. So read at your own risk.
Yeah.
I really like this one. I really like Andrew Joseph White in general. He has 3 books out. I think actually they go by them. So I'm going to do they, them pronouns. They're all YA horror, very dark topics. And they're all about trans characters. So Hell Followed With Us is a religious post-apocalyptic style book.
Okay. We've talked about this one.
And angels. Yeah. It's one of my favorite books. I read it, I think, April, according to Tally's Goodreads, because we read it together. I don't remember what it was. I got an arc of their book they released this year, which is called Compound Fracture. It's an Appalachia like story. It's about like their own family history. And like, I like the stories because they're very realistic, because these children, because they're usually like 17, 18 years old, they're struggling with the fact that they are trans and the society norms around them. So Hell Followed With Us is very gruesome. I mean, chapter 1, there's a headshot and you get all of the, not afraid of details in it. Okay. There's all of the things that go with it. So warning. But it's so beautifully told. Like it's not even like a happy ending. Like, right? Like the ending is appropriate to the story, and it's not necessarily like a happy tale, but it shows you the struggles and like all the things that go with us. And it is just so beautifully written in the most like heart-wrenching, like, these are just kids. These are just kids. And they're having to do some of the horrible things. It's like, they have to survive though. Because again, they're in like the apocalypse, right? Like society is broken down. They're a bunch of like outcast kids that are trying to like survive being like rounded up by the like church, right? Like angels that are coming to like kill everybody. So I'm like, this is gruesome, but it's so good. It's so good. So good. I have the special editions all the way from the UK of all 3 of the books. I love it. Highly recommend.
They're very
Andrew
intense.
White. They're very intense. Very intense. I also I've read all 3 of their books this year. The Spirit Bares Its Teeth is actually one that I got with Ariel last year, 2023, I think. I got it when we went down to the Book Loft in Columbus, Ohio. We went down for my birthday, I think. And I was just like, oh, this is a really cool book. This looks really cool. Like it's very gothic vibes. Like it's got this character on the front that's got like this purple dress and like gory kind of looking. And I was like, I really like this. So I bought it. And that one, I call it a bathtub abortion. Okay.
Oh, I remember. I remember.
Bathtub abortion is how I describe it. And that's like, I label them as trigger warnings because I know that some people will be like, no. I love that one though too. Like that one is really good, but I like, out of the 3, Hell Followed With Us is so good. It's so good. Actually, I have 2 of the special editions. I bought another one from Waterstones.
I vividly remember these voice memos. That's how like big of an impression these books I think left on you, and then it left on me. I vividly you said bathtub abort, and I instantly knew what you were saying.
Yeah, that one it's like it's got that one's like that one's got that's a lot of body gore in that one, I would say. So that one is definitely not for the faint of heart. I mean, I like them so much. I read them with Tally, all 3 of them. And I actually did the Fable. I actually like went in and made notes and comments and stuff. And so if that tells you anything, I actually was actively like making comments and notes while I was going. I was like, oh, I need to talk to somebody about this. I mean, tell her that. So yeah, it's just really good. Like again, it's religious trauma, it's angels and demons, end of the world kind of stuff. So if those are any like triggering things for you, warning. But I loved it. It's such a good, like, I will read whatever they write. I will. And I'll obviously buy all the books. I like special editions. Yeah, myself.
Well, mine isn't quite. My last top 5 isn't quite anything like that.
Mm.
But I wonder if this one's your top 5 too. Lights Out. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's both of our last top 5. Lights Out just left just a really good impression on me. You know what I mean? It had everything that we wanted. It was, kind of short, sweet, spicy. And it just it literally checked every single box that we needed at the time that we read it.
Yeah.
And even now I would easily pick it up and reread it right now.
Same. Yeah.
Now we both stocked up on Navessa Allen's books. Cuz I think she had them free one day, so we stocked up on a bunch of those. Yeah, I don't know. We did an entire episode on it. That's how much we loved it.
Yeah. Yesterday I was on the way to Christmas at my parents' house, and I opened up Instagram, and Reem sent me a message, and it just said, "So I'm reading Lights Out," and I went, "Ma'am, I wish you would have asked before reading this." She goes, I don't think this is my type of book."
No.
I go, "Ma'am, I wish you would have asked me, because I would have told you not to." She's like, "However, I'm doing the audiobook and I am laughing so hard at it." I'm like, "Yes, there's a reason it's going to be probably one of the top audiobooks for the year overall. It's probably going to get awards." And I'm like, "It's so funny." She's like, "If I was reading it on my Kindle, I would have DNF'd it. But because the audiobook is so good," I was like, "They put their whole self into these characters." She was like, "I am dying laughing." But she was saying something, and I was like, well, there's a scene that I even went, I don't know how I feel about this one. I was like, if I'm saying, I don't know, you are going to skip it. And so,
which one was it?
The knife scene.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, that's not really my. I'm like, Keri would like this, me not so much.
Ariel and I read about a screwdriver in a butt. So
there's a scene, and I didn't tell her. I was like, there's a scene that I know you are not going to like because I was in it. And she's like, "Oh, I haven't got to that." And I kept up yawning. And she got to it today. She was like, "Yeah, so I got to that scene that you were talking about, that I'm assuming you were talking about." I'm like, "Yeah, was it? Yeah." She's like, "I fast forwarded."
I'm going to message her after this. I cannot wait to talk to her about this.
Oh, it was so funny. It was just because and obviously it was when I was in the car, and I couldn't, even though the kid had headphones in, I didn't want to be playing it because but she did a great job. Ree did a great job at censoring it, even though she didn't know what was going on. She was like, so they're in the car and she took him out. She's like, that is the best I ever to describe. She I could just picture her being like, she took him out.
Yeah.
And there it is. So
we loved it.
I know, I love that book. It's so good. It's so funny. Yes, definitely do the audiobook because it is hilarious.
It is absolutely everything. It's hilarious. It's fucking sexy. And yeah, it's just everything. I have 3 honorable mentions, and I'll just fire them off.
All right, go.
Crossed Over by Santana Knox. Love that. It's Women Love Women. Very emotional. Fucked me up a lot. The Perfect Gift by Clio Evans. Just read that one recently, and I wanted to put it in here because that audio book,
it's so good.
It made me feel something.
I was like, I told Justine she needed to read it because she loves Polly, Why Choose. She also loves I was like, this is totally your vibe in your book, in this book. Because she's like, I've never read Clio Evans. I was like,
do it.
Bam.
Yes.
I was like, okay, this is The Perfect Gift. This is why you need to read it. And then this is why you need to read Cosmic Kiss. You need to read Cosmic Kiss. These are why. But I told her, I was like, Keri and I were doing the audiobook together. I was like, and we're reading it. And you're like, God, I love Hawk. And I just went, it's because it's Nick's. And she was like, what? I was like, well, it's done by Theo and Manny. And now their voices are always in my head, my own characters. So when I'm listening to it, I'm going through it and I'm like, okay, that's Theo. There's Lily, and here's Nick. Okay, so if you want a threesome between my 3 characters, read The Perfect Gift.
I also very much have a vibe.
Yeah.
Or a type. And
yes.
And Hawk and Nick's are very much
your type.
My type.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yes.
I love it. Crossover, The Perfect Gift, and Can I Tell You Something by Holly June Smith.
That's on my list too.
I love
that
it.
one. The audiobook, phenomenal. Another phenomenal
10 out of
audiobook.
10.
10 out of 10. Let me think. Because I think I have more than... No, that'd be right. Okay, so I have Can I Tell You Something? Great. Talk about Holly June Smith all the time, so we could just spend the entire episode talking about, Ruby Dixon, Holly June Smith, and
They will
Clio
get their own
Evans.
episodes.
We will just talk, just 3, this all the time. We'll just talk about it. So that one, loved it. Great. Also, Savor It by Tarah Dewitt, the woman that made me care about contemporary romance this year.
Yes.
Loved that book. Loved it enough. I bought it for you to read.
Yeah.
And then the Her Soul to Take trilogy. I don't remember what the actual trilogy is called, but it's the Her Soul to Take, Her Soul for Revenge, and I can't remember the last one. Soul of a Witch. Soul of a Witch. Let's see. Oh,
I think I read
Pigging.
I do.
You would like that one.
There you go, guys.
Pig.
I think I've seen Not Safe for Work art.
I haven't. I need to see it now. I must have.
Okay, when we're done, I'll see if I can go find it.
I need to find it.
I've read Her Soul to Take, right?
Did you? Where the chick gets banged in a graveyard?
Yes.
With the guy with the big tongue?
Is it Harley?
Yes. Harley LaRoux.
Yes. Yep. I have read. Yes.
I wish there was like a tandem read, right? Like I wish there was a way to tandem read the 3 books because they all are happening at the same time. And I'm like, I wish I could do the audio and do like an omnibus, right? Of like the books and they're like split into the timeline where they're supposed to be. So you get to like switch between all 6 like POVs. But it's very spicy, but it's really good. Like you've got 3 demons, 3 humans. The last one's, I like the last one, the soul of the witch or whatever it is. It's really good. Like it is probably my favorite in the series. Callum, he's just great. He's just great. Like trying to help a woman like find her power and stuff. Like she's really powerful, but she's like been suppressed her whole life. So it's pretty great.
Liz had a year of just loving monsters and demons.
Yeah.
And I love that for you. I really do love that for you.
I mean, we did make that one video clip that I scripted.
I miss that. I almost wish that we could honestly save that again, take it from old and then like repost it so that it could be up in our feed again.
Yeah. I would totally I love that.
Fucking reuse old content.
That was
a good one. Ariel at the end was so funny.
It's so good. We're like, what the fuck are you doing? That was all of them, right? Savor It. Yeah, those are all mine.
Based on how deep we were in with sentient objects, I'm surprised not a single one slipped onto our list. But
no, I don't think there was any that like I don't know. Unhinged was good, but we read that in 23, didn't we?
Corn Daddy, yeah. Out of all of them, I guess Corn Daddy would have been like an honorable mention.
I was like
for sentient.
The time is a construct. I'm like, when did I read these books? I don't know.
But see, that was me too. I was like, oh, I'm gonna put this one on my list. I read it like 2 years ago, and I was like, what? Am I okay?
No.
Yeah. I also don't think. I think half the reason why I didn't even meet my goal this year is because I did a ton of rereading.
Yeah.
So
we'll do some rereading this year though too. So
I'm so excited. I'm like ready.
Yeah.
I've been holding back not picking up ACOTAR because I'm like, we have a schedule. We're gonna do this.
As soon as I find out what my job looks like in January, I figured I may start reading ACOTAR, but I need to figure that out first.
It was a year of something.
It was something.
We read those books at least. Next year, we're going to be, well, this year, because that's going to come out in 2025. We have a lot of plans to do a lot of deep dive episodes. So realistically, will we be reading maybe as much? Probably not. At least for the few episodes, because we're going to do ACOTAR and Throne of Glass, that kind of thing. So I'm excited to get back into those worlds, though.
Yeah, I'm going to be fun. I'm interested to see what happens when I read ACOTAR again, so we'll see.
I'm stressed.
I'm stressed.
And Onyx Storm.
I always have this fear of rereading and just like hating the book, but it's because I reread Fourth Wing. I didn't.
Yeah, I'm very scared, guys. I am very scared.
But
A Throne of Glass will be fine. I don't have fear at all for that.
I have to love Throne of Glass. I have a tattoo on my back. I can't. I gotta love it.
It's just simply ACOTAR that I'm a little weary about. So
no, Cassian and Lucian will show up, and I'll be like, "Bet, baby, let's go."
We do love a Lucian moment. But anyway,
yay! Well, we are excited to see what all of you have read in 2024, what your tops are. So make sure you reach out and tell us. Do we have any in common? I'd like to know that, because we have obviously at least 2 in common, and I'd like to see anybody else's. It was hard to narrow them down. I won't lie. I was like going through them. I was like, what shit is it? So we can't wait to hear from everybody else and what you loved reading or what is on your TBR for 2025. Until then, remember, read what you want and don't be a dick.